Okay, so good evening, guys. So welcome back. So we will be continuing our SRE session today. So today is SRE day 6 session, right? And I mean we are given a very long gap, guys, right? It's almost like more than 15 days from last 2 weeks. We didn't record it, and yeah, today we just continue with our session. So today's the date is 26th of your May month, 2024, and the timing is evening 5 p.m. IST. So thank you all guys for joining the session. And guys, today is a day 6 session, and in the day 5 session, I think I have not opened the notes actually. I'm sorry for that. If I remember, like in the SRE day 5 session, we had understood about like somewhat in detail how how SRE search works, right? Sorry, not SRE, SRE Elasticsearch works,
Yes.
right? That is what we had covered majorly, and uh, so that was required, right? So to understand in detail about how this Elasticsearch works. Okay. Now, what would be today's topic or what we are going to cover today? So we have to cover today mostly on like configuring, installing all the Elasticsearch like components. But before that, let me take up on installing the heartbeat, or you can just say beat. Okay. So, like if you go to the architecture, if you remember, like basically like we had a heartbeat component or beats component also, right? Where we had different kinds of beats, like heartbeats, metric beats, file beats, and so on. So we are just trying to install one of the beats, which is nothing but the heartbeats. So what we are going to learn today is that, but we are going to learn about the basic heartbeat, basic heartbeat, heartbeat, or else basically like I am trying to check the information about whether my system is up or not. Say for example, in the real time, right, what happened, right? Like you will be having a lot of servers. Say for example, you have a database server, right? You have a DB server, and you have a application server, right? Or else you have a web server, right? You're having many different servers we are having, right? So we need to just check whether this server is up or not, right? We are not really we are not really interested to understand about the whether like what are the metrics of the application server or whatever the server application which is running under the application server, how much CPU it is utilizing or how much memory. I'm not really concerned about that. So that is the secondary part. But the first important part is that first at least I need to verify or check whether these servers are up or not. So that is nothing but you're basically checking whether you are able to reach to this server or not. So there is one important component which is the heartbeat. Through that, we are able to verify or check whether this server is up or not. So what we are going to understand today is that we are going to understand about the installing this all these servers like database servers, application server, web server, as well as installing the beat servers. It means that we will try to take one server where we'll try to install the heartbeat, and then like we'll configure the heartbeat and we'll check it whether we are able to check whether this server is up or not. So that is what today's like agenda. Is it fine? So later we will see all other components, right? We will try to cover this because this is a major part actually. Okay. So we will try to understand like to go that before that we will try to basically try to draw or try to understand the basic architecture, basic three-tier architecture, right? Say for example, let me take some images. Okay, let me almost open the MS Paint. Okay, let me go to the Google, search for some server icon. So let me take this server. So consider that I'm having some three servers, right? This is server 1, server 2, and server 3. Clear? And you have one more server. Okay, we will utilize this server for Guys, could you please mute? Yeah. So, okay. So guys, you have 3 servers here, right? So consider that this server is a web server or web front end server. Okay. Right. This is your application server where your application is running or where your business logic is running. And this is your database server. Correct. So this is basically your 3-tier architecture where your entire 3-tier architecture where you have these 3 servers and each and every 3 different servers, different components are running. See here in this case, the web server is running where all your all your fancy HTML pages are being placed over here. Your application server is a place where your application will be running over here, right? So we'll be taking an example over here in this to install and verify whether the application running or not. So we will try to check that now. And the third is nothing but the database server. So you can install your MySQL server or Postgres or else SQL server, any servers or database server you can install in this server. Clear? So now what happened, right? These are the 3 servers which we have. And that this is one server. What we'll be doing here, I'll be basically installing the beats over here. So particularly, I'll be installing the heartbeat over here, right? And what this does, what this server does, so this server basically it sends a heartbeat message. It sends a heartbeat message like this, right? To all these 3 servers like this. Heartbeat message means it's going to check, it's going to ping, or it's going to check, send some message for checking whether this server is up or not like that. So who sends it? Who sends it? This heartbeat server or the server where you have installed or configured the heartbeat, right? So this sends a message. So what it does basically that, guys, this is going to basically do some kind of a checking actually. Sorry, my diagram is a little bad, but that's fine. So it's going to basically do some kind of a check. So what check is that, guys? That check is something like it is going to send a message to all these 3 servers and verify whether the server is up or not. So basically it sends a message. Once it gets an acknowledgement from this servers, then the heartbeat server or the heartbeat service which is running in this server, right? In this server, right? It understands that this servers are up and running. If it sends a message, so say for example, it sends a message once in 5 seconds or once in 5 seconds, 10 or 15, whatever the way which you are configured, right? It sends a message to the server. If it gets an acknowledgement or if it gets a response, then this heartbeat understands that, okay, this server is up and running. If any one of the server doesn't respond to it, now what happens? The heartbeat knows that, okay, this database server is not responding because it is not getting the acknowledgement. Then it states that the server is down. So that's what basic the heartbeat does. Heartbeat component does. Right. So once it checks it, what the heartbeat will do that basically here we have something over here known as your elastic cloud. Right. So you know that we are having a ready-made elastic cloud actually, which we have to create an account also. Basically, you need an email ID to log into it, right? So this is Elastic Cloud, and you can consider this as something like a Elastic Search only. Like your Elastic Search component is there as a part of the Elastic Cloud. So what the heartbeat do will that heartbeat, the server where the heartbeat is configured, right? It actually informs to this, it inform to this Elastic Cloud. So what it does, it basically informs, it gives information about that, the status about all these servers. Clear, guys? So it checks also, it checks it as well as it even gives the information about the Elastic to the Elastic Cloud. So it means that you need to do some kind of a configuration where the Elastic beat or the heartbeat, it can send the data to the Elastic Cloud account or to the Elastic Cloud. Clear? Now, apart from this, you can have one more component which we call it as a Kibana. You call it a Kibana. So what Kibana is does? What is Kibana? Basically, Kibana is your UI component, right? It's a UI component where it will keep all the data, right? Basically, like something like a dashboard it keeps, right? Right. So this is a Kibana. So where you'll be configuring the Kibana also. So what the Kibana will do that basically, guys, Kibana will manage or maintain the dashboards. Say, for example, if I try to search for some dashboard icons, okay. Uh, yeah, this is something like a dashboard icon, or you can search for some SRE dashboard. Yeah, this is the dashboard I need actually. So it manages this dashboard actually, right? This is a kind of a dashboard. We'll later see how to, configure our own dashboard using this Kibana, right? That we will see it later. So right now understand that this Kibana will maintain the dashboards. And also, say for example, like how the Kibana maintains, because again, Kibana will communicate or is connected to your Elasticsearch only or to your Elastic Cloud. So through the Elasticsearch, right, it manages this dashboards, and through the dashboards, it gets a real-time information about the monitoring of this server. Say for example, if any one server goes down, right, you're able to see or able to view in the dashboards of that this particular server. Say for example, here the database server has gone down. You'll be able to see it. So once the database server goes down, so basically what happened that you need to configure some kind of an alert actually. You need to configure some kind of alerts actually. So what that alert do? Alert will basically send some kind of a alert notification. Say for example, wait a second. Yeah. So what? So this is something like alert, right? Guys, please mute yourself. Okay, this is something like alert notifications, right? So what happened, right? As soon as some server goes down, so alert notification will happen, right? And what happened, right? Through these dashboards, right? Basically, it sends an alert notification. So, and alert, what it does basically, it's try to send some notification. Say, for example, you want to notify over the email. Okay. So some kind of notification. For example, you can even send an email notification to the end saying that this particular server has gone down. Or else, for example, you want to create a ticket. Suppose you are having some ticketing system or the ticketing tool, right? You need to create a ticket, and as well as you need to send an email notification. That everything you can configure over through the alert site. Clear, guys? So did you understood the whole thing here? What we're going to do today? So we need to have some 4 servers, right? Where we'll be installing all these components, right? So where I'll be installing the web server, application server, and the database server. So here in this case, yeah, here in this case, the application server, what I will do basically, like I will try to install some open source application. Say for example, you have an application by name nopC commerce. So this is basically a like e-com application, or it's basically an e-commerce application. For example, if you if you go to your Amazon.in or Myntra.com, right, where you can you can buy any products, right? Because basically it's an e-commerce application. Similarly, nopCommerce is an open source e-commerce application which runs on the .NET framework. It means that basically it's a .NET application which runs on top of the .NET framework. So what we'll be doing that, guys, for us, what we'll be doing that, we will be trying to take up some 4 servers in any of our cloud account, like AWS or Azure, and we will try to install all these components. Is it clear? And we'll also have one more server where we'll be installing and configuring the heartbeat, and we will try to check whether these heartbeats, whether it can monitor these servers or not. Is it fine? Later, once it is done, we will see the other components. Maybe today we might not able to cover everything. It will take some time for doing us all this activity. Later in the next session, we are going to see the other components installation. Clear? So now, so this is our basic architecture, right? So what we'll be doing that. So basic like basic architecture, you can look into from look into from MS Paint about the basic architecture. So we need to allocate 4 servers, or else we'll take as an initial 3 servers and install all the 3 layer components, right? And we'll be choosing here. So to do that, we will be using our AWS account, and we will be creating the Ubuntu servers, right? Is it clear, guys? So we will be doing that. Okay, now let's see how to do that. So what we are going to do that, we need to first install the MySQL server. So what I can do here in this case, I can take up one server where I can make it as a database server. I can install the database component. So I can either install MySQL or PostgreSQL or SQL. So what I will do, I will try to go with installing the MySQL server, right? And in this server, I'm going to install the nopCommerce, and in this web app front server or else web server, I'll be installing the Nginx part. Clear? Now, so let's go now. So let me open my AWS account. So console.aws.com/console. So sign into the console. So already I have an account, guys. So you need to have an account. So learning AWS 2023. This is what my credentials, and I'll be giving the password. Okay, so I have logged into my AWS account, and you could see that I'm Northern Virginia. So let me move it into the AP-South-1, that's Mumbai region. So basically, I'm trying to create the servers over in this region. Okay, and let me go to the EC2 service. So we would see that whether any servers are there in this Mumbai region. So I'll go to the instance running. So I see that there are no instances here over here. Okay, so now what I will do that, I'm going to just launch the instance. So click on the launch instance, and here you have to first give the name. So since I'm creating more than one server, I'll try to give the names later. So I'll go ahead and I will choose the Ubuntu. Okay, Ubuntu, the latest is Ubuntu 24.04 LTS. So this is the image you can use, or else you can even use 22.04, little older one. But both are like come under the free trial eligible. So you can choose with the latest one only. You can even go with the 22.04 or even the little bit older also, but go always with the free trial eligible, because this will not cost you. Okay, so I'll go with the 24.04 LTS. Okay, so 24.04 LTS, come down here, and guys, for installing it, actually we need to choose some instance type. Basically what happened, right? I can install the MySQL server and the web frontend server, web server, everything into the T2.micro. T2.micro, which is nothing but you're going, if you allocate this, you're going to get one virtual CPU and 1 GB of RAM memory. This is sufficient for me to work on the database part. Guys, please mute yourself, guys. I'm been keep telling. If you have any questions, then only unmute it, or else please mute it. Sai, Akhil, can you please mute it, sir? Myra, please mute it. Thank you. Yeah. Sure. Thank you. So now, so what I was trying to tell that here, you can use a simple T2.micro for configuring and installing database server as well as a web server. But whereas in case of an application server, nopCommerce is there, right? It needs a little higher configuration. So I can go with the little higher one. Say, for example, only for the application server, I can go with the T2.medium. but it is going to cost me because it has 2 virtual CPU and 4 GB of RAM. But I have even checked that my that T2 nopCommerce, right? It also works even with the T2.micro also, which under free trial, but it will be little slower. So for our experiment purpose, I can go with the T2.micro only. But in the real time, whenever you're installing the application, right, application requires little higher configuration. So you need to go with the higher instance type. So you have to always go with the T2.medium or T2.large, right? But since we are doing some kind of a basic simple experiment, I will go to the T2.micro itself. Why I'm saying, because at some time what happened, right? If you allocate T2.micro and if you're installing the nopCommerce application, maybe it might be very dead slow and you might not be able to load the page itself. So under that case, you think that what is the issue? Because of the lower configuration, right? Instance type, sometime what happened, the nopCommerce doesn't work properly. Hence, I would recommend to go with at least with the T2.medium instance type. But since, okay, since I verified already yesterday, so it is working fine even with the T2.micro, let me go with the free trial eligible only. So I'll select the same thing as it is. Okay. Now come down here. Now you could see that I need to have a key pair. So let me create a new key pair. Say, for example, I'll create a new key pair and I will just say something new key, something. And let me select this PEM itself. Okay. And then create a key pair. So it has downloaded the key pair and okay, it has downloaded fine. So you're able to download the new key.pem file. Come down. Now you want to configure your networking actually. So what you do that, let me go with creating a new secret group. So just just go to the edit. And here you could see that, okay, you are creating a new secret group. Okay, let me give some name, other name, something like open all something traffic. Okay, this is a security group name, you are creating it. So copy it, give the same description. Okay, and then like go with the type as all TCP. Okay, and you could see that source anyway, right? So this is what you're trying to create your security group with this name, open all traffic. So you can give any name. So I'm giving as open all traffic. Come over here, give as a type as all TCP. Okay, and then like come down. Is there anything else? There's nothing. That's all. Right. So yeah, and give here as a 3 instance or 4. So let me first give it 3 instances here, and then say a launch instance. Clear, guys? Any doubts you have here? Till here? No? Good. So I have launched the instance and just go and just click on this view all instances, and you could see that these 3 servers are coming up. So let me even give the name also over here. Like say, for example, I'll give the name as something like a web server. Okay. This name I will give as an app server or application server. And give this name as a database server or just a DB server. Clear, guys? So you got all these 3 servers up and running now, right? So now what I will do that I need to log into these servers. I need to install it. So first, let me first install the database actually, because I'll be installing the MySQL database into this server, right? So what I will do over here, like let me click on this. Let me copy the public IP. Right? Let me copy the public IP. So my PEM file, it is there in the my downloads actually. So go to the downloads, you could see that myq.pem is there. That's a PEM file. But you know that I'll be using a putty for login to the servers actually. So for the putty, you need a ppk file. So let me first create a ppk file, new key.ppk file. For that, you have putty gen.exe. So just click on the puttygen.exe. Just try to load it. Okay, and go with the all files, click on this, right, and just say open. Okay, and then save as a private key. Click on this, I'll say yes, and then like give the same name. Instead of PEM, you just give as a PPK. That's all, and say save it. So once you create it, save it, you could see that actually that you have been created a .ppk file, right? So let me show one more time so that you'll be able to understand. Let me remove this. Okay, so let me launch the puttygen.exe. Okay, always guys, whenever you first you launch the footage.exe, always go to the keys, and you could see that actually like parameter for saving a keys. Click on this and first select the ppk version as 2. Do that one first. So what I have to do that key parameter for saving, go and click on this ppk version 2 and then say okay. Sometime ppk version 3 doesn't works out. That's the reason it was earlier it was selected as a 3. Now you make it as a 2 and then say okay. And now you what you have to do that you have to just click on load an existing private key. So just load it, and then like what you have to do that you have to select this new key.pem and open it. And then once you load it, you need to save as a private key. Save private key and then say yes, and then like give the same name, that is new key.pem. Instead of pem, give the name as rename as a ppk file. Means you're saving as a new key.ppk file. So once you save it, can you see here a file by name new key.ppk file got created, right? So this is what the key file ppk file I required, because your putty can able to open the server or can able to log into server with the help of this new key.ppk file. Clear? Okay, good. Now what you'll do, guys, so let me go to the server. So let me click on this DB server and let me try to copy this public IP, go over here and then launch this putty.exe. Just paste your public IP. I think rest all other things are already set, because if you go to the terminal, like it is all set. If you go to the Windows, yeah, it is set actually. Appearance, fine. Change it, bold, courier, new, everything is set, I think, guys. So I need not to do anything. I think even color also default background, okay. And now only one thing under the connection, if you just expand this SSH, you have something as auth. Under auth, you have credentials. Click on the credentials and then browse it. Just point to your new PPK. That's all, and say open it. And after that, just say launch, open. So once you launch it, so you have to accept the connection, and then like you need to basically log in. So what is the user, with which user you have to log in, guys? Because since all these 3 servers which I have allocated is a Ubuntu server, by default, what happened, the username is Ubuntu. You have to just say Ubuntu and enter. You could see that you'll be able to log into the server. So how you are able to say that whether it's Ubuntu? So what I have to do that, just click on this. Can you see there's something like connect? Yeah. Just click on the connect. Can you go to the SSH client? Yeah. Now here you could see that you have to log in as a Ubuntu at the rate. So Ubuntu is a default user. Can you see here? Come here. The Ubuntu is a default user, right? Similarly, if you allocate the CentOS server, the default user will be CentOS like that. So like that, this would be the default user. That's the reason, right? When I launched it, I gave, so when I log in it, I was trying to give the name as a Ubuntu here, right? So Ubuntu, and you're able to log in. Is it fine? Okay. Now, so what is my next thing is that I need to install the MySQL server here, because here in this database server, I'll be installing a MySQL server, and then like I need to do little bit configuration and all. So, right. So for doing that, what you have to do that you have to just go to the Google and then say installing MySQL on Ubuntu. What is it actually? 24.04. Yeah. So you can go this one, or either you can even go with little older one, 22.04. I think the instructions will be same itself. If you just try to search for this, yes, Surya, Sanjay, go ahead, tell me.
Sir, actually, I just wanted to confirm that. Can we save the record, I mean, credentials in MOBA stream for the
Yeah,
AWS
we
instance?
can do that. Yeah. We'll
Because
do that.
every time we are putting this as
Correct.
private
Yeah,
key.
we'll do that, sir. Yeah, we'll do that. Just for the time being, we are just
Okay.
showing it everything. Later, we'll save it and we will do an auto login. That would be
Because
good.
I'm not familiar with the AWS, so that's why I asked.
Okay, fine. I got it. Yeah. So now once you just search for this, guys, so like you will be able to get a lot of articles, but I would suggest best go with either the DigitalOcean, or else you have one more article. Where is it actually? Yeah, Phoenix X in map. This is good article. So this one DigitalOcean or this one. So I will go with the DigitalOcean. So just open this link actually, DigitalOcean. So this is a very good article, guys. which can go through it actually. So what I will do that I will copy it and I'll go to the notes. So I will first is nothing but the installing MySQL server, okay, using the link. Okay, so this is the link. You have to open the DigitalOcean link. Okay, so if you go over here in this link, so there are many things are there. What you have to do that, guys, basically you need to go through each and every step or the whole document. You have to once go through it and try to understand what he's talking about. Then you can go with installing it, right? So usually what happened, right, here in this case, we are basically going and installing it manually. So let me run this step, this step, this step. But in the real time, it doesn't happen, right? So in the real time, what happened, right? In the industry, you will not go with doing it everything manually. You have to write a script and call that script to execute it, or else you will have some playbook file and configure the Ansible. Through the Ansible, you will be doing all this deployment actually. So that is out in the real time it happens. But since we are doing everything, from the very basic, right? Let us go with doing it manually. Okay, each step. So the first step says that sudo apt update. So let me copy this command. Okay, go to the server and run this command. So sudo apt update is going to update all your, Debian package repository. It updates it actually. That's what that command does. So here what happened, guys, you need to remember any commands. You have a documentation, online documentation, you have to refer to it. Okay, you have to do so much frequently that commands, whenever you're executing, you will remember it. So you need to really mug all those commands actually, right? Some people do that, but it is not recommended because you'll forget it. So hence always you do so much time that all those steps, whatever you do, you remember by your own. So you not to really by heart any commands actually. So the next step is that you need to install the MySQL server package. So just copy this, come over here, and then let me clear the screen, and then just copy this and just say -y and say enter. So it is installing your MySQL server component. It does both MySQL client as well as a MySQL server. Both it installs it. So today, mostly like we will be seeing only the installation part today, guys. So in next session, tomorrow or day after tomorrow, I'll take. So that we will be something like we'll be configuring more components of the Elasticsearch, and we will also try to monitor all the servers and all, right? Those things and all, we will see it later. But today is the most important thing. We need to configure everything. We need to configure all this 3-tier architecture. So what I would request that after today's session, you go ahead with installing all this by your own. Okay, and just keep ready this server so that tomorrow, like when we continue with this session, right, you will be able to do it everything fastly and you will be able to practice also. So whatever we did today, please practice those things. Clear? So you have installed it. Now, once it is done, I'll go to the document. They say that sudo systemctl start MySQL server service. Copy this command, come over here and just run this command. So it means that you have started the MySQL server, right? Services, right? Then you can even run this sudo systemctl. You can execute the command status MySQL service, MySQL.service. You can check that it is in active state. Always you have to make sure that this should be in active state. Sometime what happened, right? It will be something like activating, like that. This will going to get. So it means that still that server is not run up and running, right? And always the best practice that actually whenever you run these commands, right, make sure that you also enable it also. So how to do that? You have to just say sudo systemctl enable space MySQL server MySQL dot service. I think not enabled, enable. Why we are doing this? Because that if you try to reboot this server, so once after the reboot is done, it means that when the server comes up, automatically even your MySQL service also will be up and running. If you don't enable it, then what happened? That you have to every time you have to log into the server and manually you have to start the server. So to avoid it, always you have to make sure that you have enabled the service by using a sudo systemctl enable space and specify the server name. Clear? So clear, guys. So I will not copy paste the commands over here. So I've just given the link. You have to go to the link and you have to do all the installation. Clear? So now, once you're done it, actually, how you're going to verify whether your MySQL is running or not. So you have to just execute a command sudo MySQL. So when you enter, If you execute the command sudo MySQL, can you see that you have got into the MySQL prompt, right? So here what happened, guys, you can execute some command. Say, for example, like comes like show databases. See, you'll be able to see the what are the default databases already existing in your MySQL server. So this is there, fine, well and good. Clear? Now, what happened, guys? Whenever you install the MySQL server and whenever you try to do a sudo MySQL, so this sudo MySQL, right? When you're doing it, actually, it is logging to your MySQL server. It means that basically how it is logging in, it is logging as a root itself. So sudo MySQL, when you do it, actually, when you execute this command, by default, it logins as a root user. But in the real time, right? In the real time, say for example, you are having a database which is running and your application is trying to connect to the database, right? Do you think that the application server will always connect to the database as a root user? No, right? Because the application servers which is running, right? It doesn't have any root users credentials, right? Because root user password is not maintained by the developers. It is maintained by the administration or DevOps engineer. So they will never share the root users credentials. So hence what is happening that in the database server, it is always required that you create some default user or some normal user you have to create it, right? And then create a normal user. I mean that create a normal user database, set a password for that, and then try to give that details to this application. This is what in the real time it happens. You will never able to do any kind of operations from the application to the database as a root user. You will not be allowed to do that, right? Because you don't have the root user's credentials. Hence what happened that you should always try to create a normal user and then like set a password and then tell this application server that okay, this is a particular user and the password and this is the database and this is the table, this is the database name and this is the table, like that all details will be given to the application or to the application. So to do that, it means that you need to dedicatedly create some MySQL user. And also you need to provide some kind of a privileges or you need to provide all permissions you need to provide for that. For that, what you'll be doing, guys, you will go over here in the same documentation. If you come down, where is it, guys? I think, yeah. Can you see that? Create a dedicated MySQL user and granting all the privileges? Yes. Upon installation, MySQL create a root user accounts, which actually manage the database, your database. But we don't need to, we need not to log in as a root user. We need to log in as a normal user. So can you see here to create a user? So can you see this command? Yeah, this is the command I need actually. Copy here. I'll paste it over in the notepad here. Clear, guys? So now what you're going to do that actually that you are creating a user by name Sammy, right? And you will be giving some password. Say for example, like anything like I'll give say Sammy123. This is the password I'll be giving. And here you could see, guys, actually here it is saying that you are giving the localhost as a host name. Now it means that actually what it means that when you are creating the user with this command, so a person who has logged into this server, right, into this database server, only he will be able to access that user. What is that user? Sammy as a user in the same local server itself. Say for example, here in this diagram, suppose an application server, he want to log in as a Sammy here, he'll not be able to log in because you have configured your created user, which can only be able to log in through the same server only. Do you think that the application server will be running onto the same database server? No, right? The application server or the application altogether is running in a different server. So it means that from any IP address, this particular application should be able to log into it. So it means that here what happened, guys, if you go through it, this command, localhost, yeah, this is fine. If you run this command, so Sammy can able to log into the same server. It means that being under the same database server only, you'll be able to log into the Sammy. But that is not required, right? I need to make sure that from here, I need to log in it. So it means that this shouldn't be a local server. Say, for example, here what happened, right? Like your application server is something, this is the IP address of the server. So where is it, guys? So this is your application server, right? So this is your application server and this is the private IP, right? So this is a private IP, right? So what I will do that, say for example, if you are allowing, so here you need to just give this IP address. This IP address is for of your application server, right? This application server's IP address, right? Private IP address, right? It means that if you're creating it, it means that only this particular application server, which is having this IP address, will be able to log in as a SAM user. But today, okay, this is all fine. So today, okay, your application server is having this IP address. Say, for example, your application server goes down, or you are configured another application server where the IP address will get changed. Then again, you have to come and again you need to do these changes. So today is 13, 41.13. Tomorrow it becomes 41.15, 14, 15, 16, right? So anything it could be. So I need to have something that where from whichever IP address might be, like something like 0.0.0, whichever IP address, he should be able to log into that user. Clear, guys? Right? So you should be able to log in. So how we are going to make sure that, okay, what is it actually, how you can do it? So what you can just, again, you can depend upon the Google and you can just say, what is it? Create a MySQL user to be accessed from anywhere. Huh? Yeah, anywhere. From searching with the string, create a MySQL user to be accessed from anywhere. So you can go with this, any of these links. So, but I would prefer that go with the Stack Overflow link because this has some good information. Open this link. So come down. So it says that something, okay, bind, grant all privileges, fine. Remote server identified. Where is it, sir? Okay, grant. Yeah, can you see here? My user at the rate this percentage, this is what earlier used to have something like my user at the rate localhost, but you don't want to keep as a localhost or you don't want to give any IP address. It could be from anywhere, from any IP. Then this percentage should be this should be replaced with percentage. So I'll be using this. So I'll go over here. Sorry, I'll go to this again. I will try to copy this command. Come over here, paste it over here. Let me replace this with the percentage. Percentage means any. Okay, and let me because I am my application is nopCommerce, so let me give the username as nop itself, and the password as nop123 something. I'll give this nop123. So you are creating a dedicated user now. Okay, that's what this article says. So you are trying to create a dedicated MySQL user and granting all the privileges. For that, I'm doing it. Okay. So now let me copy this whole command, copy it, and then like come over here and execute this command. You have executed this SQL query. So you have created a user by name nop, and he can get connected from any IP address and the password for this nop123. Yes, Harsh. Go ahead with the question,
Sir,
Harsh.
my question is that so now what's the difference between this user and root user? Sir?
What's the difference between?
This user that we have created right now and the
So
root user, sir.
no, root user is something like by default when you do in MySQL, right? You will be directly login as a root user only,
Okay.
right? But your root user is not a proper way. You need to create some dedicated user. Here I'm creating a dedicated user by name NOP, and I'm setting the password as NOP123. So it means that tomorrow, whenever I want to access the database, right, I will be logging as a NOP user, not as a root user.
Okay. Got it. Thank you, sir.
Clear? So now
Yes.
what happened after you have created, you need to create a database also, right? Let me do one thing. Let me create a database. So I'll just say create database. Let me create a database with the same name, nopDB something. So this is the database I created. Then I'll just say use, what is it? nopDB, right? And if I want to see the tables, if there is any tables are there under the nop database, so I'll just say show database, sorry, show tables. There are no tables. So right now it is empty. So this is perfectly fine. So it means that whatever I've did, so I configured the user, I've created a database with the name NOP database, as well as I have I have used the database. It means that basically I'm logging into this particular database. I'm just showing the show tables. So all these commands. So let me do thing. Let me copy these commands and I will paste over here in this document. Clear? Fine, guys. So it means that it is perfect. So till now we are okay with that. Okay. Fine, guys. So now shall we log into this user NOP and check it out whether we are able to log in or not? Yes. How to do that? Come over here into the server. Okay, let me exit out. Okay, what I will do that I will use a sudo MySQL -u means username. NOP is a username -p. So it means that when I click on this, it should ask me for the password. So the password is NOP123. See, you're able to log in. So it means that if you're able to log in as MySQL as an NOP user. So if you do a show databases, so check whether you have created a database, right? So it means that you're able to log in as a normal user. But what we are doing that actually because I'm sitting in the same server here, guys. I'm doing it actually. So I'm sitting in the database server only. Here itself, I'm doing it everything. Say, for example, I want to do somewhere from outside. Say, for example, I let me log into the app server. And then through the app server, let me log in and check it, whether I'm able to log in or not. So for that, let me click on the app server. Okay. So this is the public IP. Copy this public IP. Go over to your downloads. There, launch the putty. Just say, give the IP address of your this one. I think everything is set. Only you have to just expand this auth. Just browse it and then give the new key.ppk. That's all. Other things, I think everything is done. I think. Let me go with the colors. Okay, default color and connection is 300. Fine. Everything is perfect. Okay. So let me log in. Let me open it actually. So accept the connection. Log in as a Ubuntu. Ubuntu. Right. You're able to log in as a Ubuntu. So now let me first run sudo apt get update. So this is what always I run this command. Okay. Okay. So before doing that, what I need to do is actually that I need to grant all the privileges. So it means that I need to give all kind of a permissions to it actually. Okay. So for doing that, what I will do that, let me log in into the, let me exit out from this and let me log in as a sudo MySQL. Let me log in as a root itself here. I need to grant a permissions for that particular user by name NOP user. So I need to provide all the grant permissions. So for that, what you have to do that you have to go through your document. And if you come down, I think there is one granting the permission. So this is the create user is okay. Alter user, fine. Grant privileges on the database. What is it, guys? Actually, with this is the command I think. So let me copy this command. Come over here and let me paste this command over here. So to grant all privileges. So this is the required, guys. You need to run this to grant all privileges. So you need to have this command actually. Okay, grant all privileges. *2 SAMI something like this is giving. So what you have to give that here, you need to provide something like, okay, grant all privileges instead of star. So I'm giving something like NOP, what is it? NOP database, right? Database dot star I'll give. Okay. What else, guys? After that, to the user is NOP, username is NOP, and here instead of localhost, put that percentage symbol. Yeah, this is what which will work perfectly. Clear? So NOP dot star to, yeah, this looks perfect. So let me copy this, and then come over here and paste this command. Okay, so you've executed it. Is it clear, guys? So it means that you're granting all the permissions, actually, all privilege or all permissions to that particular database, what you have created it. Clear? Is it clear till here? Okay, after that, what the documentation says that actually you need to flush the privileges. Yeah, let me execute this command over here, come over here, run the first privileges, right? That's done. And after that, you need to just exit out. Yeah, let me exit out. Clear? Now you can log in it. So already we have shown it, but still one more time. Sudo MySQL -user, username is NOP, and the password is -p, and enter. It'll ask you the password NOP123. See, you're able to log in as a NOP user, NOP user. Okay, here instead of root user, you are giving a username as -user username. Clear? Now, my question is that if I run this command, okay, here, if from the app server, this is my app server. I've already logged in here. From the app server, I need to run the same command and check, verify whether I'm able to log in or not, right? So what I will do that, I will just say MySQL or else sudo MySQL -u nop user. Let me go and check it here. Execute this command. Check it. So, okay, MySQL client is not there. So if you execute sudo MySQL, just a sudo MySQL enter. So MySQL server is not there. I'll just say MySQL. I'll just run MySQL command. So it will give you the recommendation that you need to install the MySQL client core. So let me do one thing. Let me install it. Sudo apt install. Give this command and say -p. So just you are installing a MySQL client. So because I have to test it, right, whether I'm able to log in from the application server or from other server, I'm able to do it or not. Because when you're granted all permission, you should be able to log in it, right? So now what will happen that I will try to do a sudo MySQL -user. What is the username? NOP -p password. It asks for the password. The password is NOP12. So what it says that, guys, it gives an error saying that can't connect to your local MySQL server through this socket. So it gives an error. Now, why basically you are getting this error actually?
Due to the IP address.
Yes, to the IP address. See, now usually what happened, right? uh, Let me go to the some server icon, right? So guys, this is your server, guys, where you have installed your database, actually, MySQL database, right? So this is your MySQL database. MySQL database, you have installed it actually. And also you have started the service, actually, started the service. Now what happened, right? By default, when you start the service, okay, this is a MySQL service which is running, right? Now what happened, right? This MySQL service, okay. So when you have this server, guys, you have some interfaces actually. It means that you have interfaces. Basically, in AWS, right, whenever you create any server, you will get, like, so for example, you will get a public IP as well as a private IP, right? But when you log into the server here in this app server, and if you execute a command IP-addr, can you see that there are two interfaces are there? L0 loopback and ENX0. These are the two interfaces you have. So what is that interfaces? So one interface, nothing but your LO, which we call as a loopback. What is it? It is a LO called as a loopback. Loopback is always, the IP address is always 127.0.0.1. This is the IP address always for the loopback, right? And you have one more interface. What is that interface? Something ETH0, or in this case, the interface is something like whatever that ENX0. Yeah, this is the interface actually. And this is having an IP address. What is the IP address it is having, guys? It is having 172.31.14.13. Correct? So this is your private IP address. If you check this here, if you go to the console and if you say, see, this is the private IP address. I think, yeah. I think, sorry, this is the database, right? Sorry, I should have executed the IP command over here, IP-addr. So this is nothing but this is the private IP address, right? These are private IP address of your database, right? It's the same thing. If you see over here, you could see that at the end 45.1.110, so 45.110, right? So this is your IP address. Now the thing is that, right, guys, now what is happening is that if you go to this diagram, so now I think, yeah, whatever that, sorry, I need to ENX0 and the IP address is, what is it? The IP address is 110, right? This is the IP address. Let me copy this. So just to avoid confusion. Clear? So it means that basically what happened, right? When your MySQL service is up and running, what happened, right? It basically listens, or it always listens on to this loopback address. Like this. It always listens to your loopback address. So it means that whenever if your service is running, it by default it works, or it listens to the loopback address. That is 127.0. So it has to even listen to this interface, or it has to, suppose you are having, here you are having two interfaces. Suppose you are having some 4-5 interfaces, network interfaces. So it means that your MySQL server should be able to listen to all the interfaces. So it means that from anywhere the connection comes, it has to get connected. So now locally it is working, right? Locally it means that I have logged into this local database server. Here, if I do sudo MySQL -u and give the username nope and give the password, see, I'm able to connect it. I'm able to connect it, right? But the same thing, if I'm trying to do from other server, I am getting an error saying that can't connect to it. It means that basically what I have to do that, it means that you need to basically expose the interface. It means that this interface should be exposed so that your MySQL server will listen to this IP address also. It is something like, in the, it is same thing like a Docker actually. Like in the Docker, what happened, right? The Docker, you'll be running some application or the image, right? And whenever you want to access that application from outside world, so you need to do some kind of a port mapping, right? So if you do a port mapping, then only you can able to access from externally from the outside. It's same thing like that. So you'll be able, if you want to log into this MySQL, then what is happening that you basically you need to expose it so that it can able to even listen to even this interface also, right? So now how we are going to do that actually? So if you go to the Google and just say, what is it, guys? Exposing MySQL service on something 0.0.0.0 and enter. So you can go with anything. So I would always recommend you to go with the Stack Overflow. You'll get some extra information there. That's what. So if you click on this, go here. And if you go here and you have to grant all the privileges that we have did, and you have to flush the privileges, fine. So what it says here, you in that server where you install the MySQL, right? You have to go to the MySQL confd, mysqld.conf, and then like you need to just change this line. See, he's giving it actually. So shall we do that? Yes. Now what happened, right? You'll go to this server where you have installed MySQL. So exit out from here. Let's say sudo to cd2. What is it? etc mysqld. Okay, etc mysql. Sorry, cd etc mysql, then ls. So what is say that mysql conf.d. So this is a directory. So mysql conf.d. So here you have something like a mysqld.conf. Open this file, mysqld.conf. So if you open it, can you see there is something like MySQLD? Yes. If you come down, can you see bind address? Now it is trying to bind to this IP address only. Now what you have to do that? You have to just come over here and just change it to, instead of this one, you need to do, okay, let me open with sudo command, guys. Sudo vi MySQLD, because I'm doing everything as a normal Ubuntu, so always you have to give sudo. So come down here, just do the editing of from this to, just make it to 0.0.0. Right? Even change this also. Is there any other thing is required? Let us see. 0.0.0. Okay. Anything else is required in this configuration file? Nothing. Just save this file. Now you have to just say sudo systemctl. Okay. Stop mysql server.t and then start MySQL server. Okay, and check the status. Okay, now we could see that you have restarted. You can even run the command restart. That's also fine. Restart or reload. It'll read it. I just try to show how to stop and start so that you will get to know these options also. But you can even directly run this command, something like this. Sudo systemctl restart. This one single command will stop and start. You need not to do a stop and start and like that. It's not required. See, this will also restart the MySQL. Is it clear? Now, once you have did this, can you able to see whether you're able to log in from the other servers from anywhere now? Yes, this is my app server. This is application server. Now let me run the same command. Sudo MySQL-u nop. It asks the password. Let me give the password as nop12. Still, you are not able to. Why? Okay,
It is looking for the IP address.
not IP address. You can log in through anywhere
Then
actually.
how he will know that? I mean, the server, the client will know what is the IP address of the MySQL server. You are trying from the application server, right? Then we have to provide the IP address of for MySQL, right?
Yes, correct, right? But from anywhere, see, you're trying to connect, right? You're trying to connect from your application server, right? Correct. Oh, yeah. You're right, right. I'm doing okay. I'm doing it. Oh, I'm doing from the application server. Right? Sorry. You're right. Actually. Sorry. Oh, bad. My bad. MySQL. What is that? Hyphen H. Sorry. Shit. My God. Sorry. You're right. Actually. What is it? The database server private is this one. Hyphen H ought to be host name. Sorry. Right. You're right. And then like hyphen U. Nope. Hyphen P. Yeah. You're right. Actually. Then give the password NOP12. Yes. Now you're right. Okay, correct. Right, you're right. So this is what you have to, you're just checking. So from other server, you're able to log in it, right? So let me copy this command also. Where is it, guys? So paste it over here. Clear? Any doubts you have till here?
No.
So this is perfectly fine. Or till that you have installed the MySQL, you have created a user by name Nope, and you have given all, privileges as well as even you have changed, instead of login in through the local host, you can log in through from any IP or from any server. So this is all done. Clear? Fine, good. Now, what else? Now, so once you have did this actually, okay, once you have configured your, your database, now we will let us see like how to install and configure your application. So here in this case, we are using a nopCommerce, right? nopCommerce is an application which we need to install it actually. So what we'll do that, we'll go to the Google. Let me try to close all these things. I don't need it. So this is done, guys. I don't think so anything is required. Yeah, this is done. Just to try to do a nopCommerce. This is a open source application, e-commerce application, guys. nopCommerce install on Linux. Okay, so I can go to the official site docs.nopCommerce. So since it is an open source, guys, so the code is openly available to anyone. Anyone can go through the code. So if you want to go to the code of the nopCommerce, so you can say nopCommerce and then say GitHub. So it will take you to the. You can open this to GitHub and you can go through this whole code. So this is basically a .NET application. Okay, and it needs some kind of a prerequisite. Say, for example, you need to have a .NET framework to be installed and everything. So that we will see it later. So these are open source actually. Open source doesn't mean that the software code is free. No, it means that the code is freely available. The code is open so that anybody can walk through the code. But it doesn't mean that it is free. It means that actually some people do some changes and they will keep it for as a chargeable actually. So open source only signifies that whatever the code is there pertaining to that applicant. Say here it is nopCommerce. It is the code is freely available. It means that you can view the code content or you can view the code, but it doesn't mean that it is free. No, it could be free or it could be licensing also. Right. So you could see that there are many open source softwares are which are paid one actually. Right. You need to pay the money for some, licensing cost or for per user cost, and you need to buy that product. Right. So like that. Clear? Now, what we do here, guys. So basically, yeah, I have this link. Yeah. So what he says here for installing on the Linux actually. So what he says that if you come here, he says that actually you need to install the .NET Core runtime and all. Fine, good. So what we do that we will go to the application server. This is the application server which we have already. I've already logged in actually. Right. This is my application server. So what I will do that first. Let me run this sudo apt-get update. I think I've already executed, but still I will execute it. Okay, let this command run. Now you could see that for us to install the nopCommerce in that application server, they have given some step. So what they're giving that install the .NET Core runtime. Okay, you have to run this commands, fine. So because this command will install the .NET runtime environment in your Linux box. Come down, he said that installing the MySQL server. So we need not install it already, which is installed. We have installed it, but we have created a dedicated other server, some of the DB server where we have installed your your MySQL, right? Okay, that's fine. After that, what he says, come down, your installation of MySQL is done. Then he said that you can install the Nginx server. We will be doing it later because that we have one more server, web server, where we'll be installing the Nginx. Okay, fine. And then like come down, okay, system detail Nginx status, and then create some default site actually, and then like how to get the nopCommerce. So he has given some step over. So we need to just blindly follow these steps to make sure that the nopCommerce application is running, right? So could see that the installation, everything at these are the down. So we will just follow this document, right? So go down here. So now let me go it and let me say that installing nopCommerce from the given link. So what is that link? Is the link. Clear? Now, after that, come down here. Yes, Surya, like guys, everyone, need not to raise any hand here. You can just ask me the question, unmute and ask me the question.
Okay, is this, I mean, will that code will work on RHL?
Anywhere, sir. See here, this is for the Linux actually, right? Here you have just searched for the Linux, means it is opening the Ubuntu. You can even search for RHL or CentOS. You will get all the steps. So when
Okay,
I
same
open it,
code will work on the RHL as well.
yes, it will work.
Okay,
So
thank
now come down here. So he's saying that you have to run this. So after that, install this ASP.NET Runtime 8.0. That's what he said that. Let me copy this. Come over here in the server, just click on this and just a -y and say enter. So it is installing some what is that? Sorry, APT transport HTTP and ASP.NET Core something. So these are the two packages. It is as part of this, it is installing. So to install the .NET Core runtime, we need to run this command. So it is running. So it has completed, I think. Yes, it has completed. Now go back to the documentation. So it's saying that you can see all the install by running this command. So just run this command. So come over here, just clear the screen, execute this command and say enter. So could see that your Microsoft ASP.NET Core is installed actually. And this is the path where it has installed that like libraries or whatever, right? So once this is done, okay, now it is done. Now I need to install it actually. Come down over here where we saw that you have to install, get the nopCommerce. So what he says that you need to first create a directory. So he said that you can create your directory, something he's creating a /var/ww nopCommerce, and then like he is trying to do cd, and then he's trying to get the zip file and he's saying unzipping. So he's doing some operations over. So let me do it actually. I can directly take this and run it. So what I will do, I will do small changes over here. Okay, let me do a sudo mkdir. Instead of this, let me create something like a /nop. I will be creating under the /nop, right? I've created a directory by /nop, cd to the /nop, right? After that, what I will do that I will try to do a sudo wget command. Copy this command, run it, enter. So you are just downloading the nop zip file. right? Once you download, when you do an ls, can you see that you have downloaded zip file? So after that, you have to install this unzip package. Yeah, let me copy this command. So I think unzip command will not be there. That's what he's telling you. So copy it and then say -1. So unzip package, you've installed it. Once you've installed it, guys, once you install it, just try to extract that zip file. So you have to just run this command. Copy this command, go to the server, then execute this command. So you can see that it has extracting the zip file. Right? Once you extract it, if you do an ls, can you see that all the files has been extracted? So it's a huge contents are there, right? A lot of things are there. So, okay, this is what your application, OP application you have extracted. After that, what the document says, is saying that please create a bin and log directory. Fine. Let me do one thing. Let me go over here under the same directory, under /nope only. So if you execute pwd, you could see that I'm under /hope, where I've extracted it, right? There only you need to create a two directories. What it says, mkdir bin sudo mkdir, what is it? Logs, right? Logs. Now what he says after this, okay, let me have created these two directories. After that, he's saying give the change permission, file permission changing. So here he's saying the change owner permission w.data something. He's saying that because since I am doing everything as a NOP user only, because you could see that in the database also I created a NOP user. Actually, let me create a NOP user and let me give the NOP as a. See, if you do an ls-l, can you see that the username is root and the group name is also root, but I need to do the changes over here. Since in this example he's giving something as a www.data, from where he's taking it up, actually he's taking it from here. Actually, could see that yeah, he's seeing that username is www-data. Why again it is taking, why he is taking? Because usually what happened, guys, when you see your 3-tier architecture, you have a web front end is there. Web front end, what you do that you basically install some Nginx. Actually, Nginx has a user something like www-data. This is what the user is taking into this consideration here. But here what is happening, I will install this Nginx later, but I don't need to use this www-data as a user. I need to create the user by name, what is it? NOP user. Let me create that user in this application server now. Okay. So let me create a user actually. So I have to say that sudo, what is it, guys? Add user or user add user NOP. Right? I can give any password. I'll just say NOP123. NOP123. Enter. Save. So you created a user by name nope actually, right? So now as per the documentation, he's saying that you do the change permission. -r is recursively. So what I will do there, go over here, it's a sudo what is it?
Recursively means it will apply all the
All
subdirectories and files.
directories, subdirectories, everything. Yes. You could see that if you do ls-el, you could see that there are many directories also there. Even inside the directory also, there are many files that you need to reflect everywhere. So it means that actually basically you need to run the -r recursively. So come over here. Let's say sudo ch what is it? ch1. Okay. -R option nop user : this for user, this is for the group, and then give star or /nop. Right? So if you do an ls-l al, can you see here now it has been changed from root to NOP. Username is NOP, group is also NOP. So you need to do changes to everywhere actually. Right? So you have to do the changes. So that's the reason you have just used this command. Clear?
Yes.
Once this is done, good. What is the next thing you have to do? That he said that you need to create a nopCommerce service. So for that, he's saying create a file with this name. Okay, let me copy this. nopCommerce. This is a file name you have to create. So go to the application server. Okay, and then just to do a sudo vi, open this or create a file under etc system d system, create this file. and then get to the insert mode, go to your documentation, just copy this blindly. Copy this, come over here and paste it. Now you need to do some changes over here because your working data is not this one. Your working data is actually, what is it? NOP, right? Slash NOP, right? So slash NOP, right? Good. After that, this is, you need to change to slash www NOP2 to the slash NOP, correct? And after that, the username is something, not www, it is NOP, the user, correct? Rest other thing is okay for me. So what you have did, right? You have to change under the service, you have to change this working data as NOP. And this is nothing but you have to provide, because if you do a start the service, basically it is calling that exec start. This is the command, or this is what it is getting called when you do a start of that application service actually. And then like user you need to change, that's all. And then save this file. Clear? So you save that file. After that, what you're doing here, come over here, you just say systemctl start nopc commerce. Start the service, and then like do some other things, like you need to do an enable, and then you need to even do check the status also. See, your application is active. It means it is running. How you are going to verify whether your application is running or not? What you will do here, because NOPC commerce, this application is running onto the port number 5000. It uses the port number 5000. So what you can do that, you can go to this server, go to this app server, and then like copy this public IP, come over here, just say http colon dot slash, give it and give 5000. Enter. See, it should load. Okay. It says that actually it is unable to load this site. So why it is? Because again, the same thing, because that this application is not exposed to all the IPs. It means that it only works as a local, under the local host only it will run actually. It will not do it. So can I check it, verify over here locally here? Okay, how to do it actually? Use the curl command, curl hyphen capital I, what is it? HTTP colon slash slash, what is it? Localhost colon 5000. If this command works, it means that, see, it means that actually my application is running actually. So locally it is running in the same server. I'm using a curl command to do it. So it is working. But if I'm trying to give and if I'm trying to do to the browser, it is not doing actually, right? So why is this? Because again, it's the same thing, guys. Why it is? Because that it is not exposed to all the IPs. It is not exposed to all the IPs. So to do that, what you need to do that, you need to go to this server again, open that that file. What is that? etc, the nopCommerce service file, right? Open this, come over here. Under the exec start, you need to just add one few lines actually. What is it actually? Hyphen FN URL space http colon double slash 0.0.0.0 colon 5000. Like this is the only thing you need to add here. After this, you need to add this string actually. Okay. After that, you save this file. Then you need to restart the service. So what you have to do that, do a systemctl status stop. Okay, he says that actually you need to run this command. Okay, no problem. I'll run this command. Sudo systemctl DAMEMON hyphen reload. Okay, fine. And then like I will start the service. Okay, I'll check the status service also. I think already I've did an enable, but still. See, now it has been restarted. Okay, let me even do enable also. So that if I restart the server, automatically this application could be. Okay, guys. So now it is doing. So shall we go here and shall we try to refresh it and check if it is loading or not? Wait. It has to load. It will take some time. Yeah. Can you see here, guys? Your nopCommerce is been up and running here. Now the thing is here that actually that there are two things which is very important, guys, which you have to see that. See here, for example, when you launch this URL, basically what happened, it is not secure. Because why it is not secure? Because you are using a HTTP protocol, not HTTPS. Whenever you want to have any website which you have to access to HTTPS, actually, it means that you need to have the TLS certificates. So you need to install the certificates. And the second important is actually that you cannot give this IP address like this, and you cannot give this port number. You cannot give your end customer like this, actually, because you need to have some domain name, right? So for example, if you go to the Amazon.in, right? This is your shopping site. See here, this is always secure, right? If you click on this, see, connection is secure. It says that, actually. See, connection is secure, as well as you are giving some domain name, Amazon.in. You are not giving any IP address, right? So whenever you are giving a customers, right? Whenever you are giving access of the application to the customer, you have to always give with some domain name, So what you have to do that by is you need to buy one domain, and you need to buy the domain, and you need to do some configuration to make sure that by using a particular domain it works, actually, as well as you have to make sure that it is always under secure connection, right? Because still it is not secure here, because you need to install the certificates and all into the application server, or into the web server. You do have to do so many other things, actually, to make sure that your application is highly secure. Because if you give like this to the end customer, right, the end customer might not accept it. He will say that, boss, how I'm going to do some payment? Suppose through your website, through this e-commerce, I want to do some payments. You cannot do through the payments, right? Because it's not secure. Anybody can hack your details, right? So it is always better that it is always recommended that you need to always you need to install the certificates, and all the communication should be in encrypted form. 1 second, guys. 1 second. Oh, sorry, guys. Got a call, actually. So, guys, now, so we have installed the nopCommerce also, as well as what you have to do that you have to make sure note. What is the note? Actually, you need to expose the services on 0.0.0. It means that any IP address can able to access your application or your database, right? So this is what we learned, right? Now, what are the things? See here, for example, if you do it, actually, and if you go through your nopCommerce here, this application. Oh, it says that actually, okay, it says that actually you can even do some settings over here. So let me give some name over here. Like, for example, what is it? Actually, I'll give my email ID, mail rajesh@sre@gmail.com. So this is what it is. Password I'll give, because this is for an admin access, actually. Okay. Password I'll give. Okay. After that, okay, create some sample data. I need some sample data. So I will remove this subscription. I don't want it. What's the database I'm using? I'm using database management MySQL. Fine, right? What is a server name, actually? The server name. So the server name. What is the server name, guys? You have to give the IP address over here. So come over here, and if you click on this, can you see this IP address? I'll give the IP address over here, and I give the IP address. What's the database name? nopDB. Say this is a DB, right? What is the username? nop user. What's the password? nop123. Then say install it. So this will take some time, because it is actually installing some sample templates. It is installing it, because this is a e-commerce application. So you need to view some products, some catalogs and all, right? For that reason, it is trying to install some dummy samples, actually. So that's the reason you need to give all the store information details. You need to give it. so that it will try to. So what it is doing that here you are giving a MySQL information about your database, about your server name, or the server host name, or the IP address, and the database name, because you already created the database with this name, right? And also the username and the password, everything. So that what happened, right? All the catalog pages, everything, whatever it is installing, will be saved in under your MySQL server. That's the reason it will take some time, guys. This usually takes some 2 minutes to install all the catalogs and everything, and then it will restart that application. So just wait for 2 minutes. You will see that your applications again comes up now with some catalogs. Okay, say it is restarting.
I have a question
Hmm.
about TLS and SSL. Okay, is both a certificate required for securing a site?
Both means where?
TLS and SSL?
Yes, it's required. SSL is required. TLS certificate, sir. It's a TLS only. It's a 2.0 certificate, actually, SSL certificate.
Okay.
So now, what happened, sir? Yeah, it is restarted. Okay, let me refresh it and check. So it will take some time to come up, sir, because it's a low configuration, right? That's what I said, that it usually takes some time. If it is a higher, if it is a big server, higher configuration, right, it will immediately come up, actually. So nopCommerce, right, it needs more memory, actually. More memory or more CPU computer, right? Because we are using only one virtual CPU. And see, now you could see that nopCommerce has come up. Can you see it? So this is something like it is showing you all kind of gadgets, catalog for your electronics or apparels, right? So many things it shows. So these are the default sample data which is loaded, actually. Right? It has loaded it. Now, can you able to log in it? Yeah, I can able to. So I can log in as an admin, actually. So log in it. So I gave my email ID, right? My Gmail email ID as a username. So let me give the email ID. And give me the password. So you could see that actually your login, you could see your login as an administrator. So you are an admin. So you can click on the administrator here, and you could see that actually now you can go. So once you click on this administration, I think it will take you to some page. So let me check what is it. Here you can go and add your own catalog. Suppose you have your own product to sell under this nopCommerce, right? You can add all those your products catalog informations and everything, so that it will get displayed. See here, this is a dashboard, this is a catalog. See, these are products, and you can go and you can add all your details here. Add all your details so that your product will be reflected here under this nopCommerce application. Yeah, clear? So you can add all the catalogs, whatever you want to sell it. See, you can give the product name, warehouse, and everything. So, and also like you can build your own companies. You can edit all the things, and you can publish your products over in this site. Clear, guys?
Yes.
So now what happened, right? Now you have installed the samples and all, right? Now if you go to your database here. So this is my database. So let me do a sudo MySQL, right? And then like let me what is it actually show databases. So you could see that there's no database there. Use no database DB, right? And then say show tables. See, you could be able to see that all these database tables, right? Can you see here? See products, attributes, and all, right? Correct? Correct, right? And you can even run it actually. What is it? Select star from the product table. See, you're able to view it actually. So whatever the sample you installed, right, that it has installed most of the tables actually. And this is all the tables actually. What are the tables? So show tables. If you execute this, so these are all the tables. It has installed it. I mean, it has configured it. Clear? So guys, I hope that like what we have did till now is that actually we have completed this application server and a database server configuration. We have also exposed those ports and all, right? Expose that application so that it can be able to we can able to access from any IP, similarly with the database, right? So what we can do in the next class is that actually we can able to have one more server. In the web server, I will be installing the Nginx and all that we will be doing it actually. And then like we will be able to install the Heartbeat, configure it and everything. And you need to do configuration so that it can start listening or it can start monitoring these servers. Say, for example, I want to monitor whether this application server is up or not, or whether this database server is up or not, right? So there are various monitors are there through which the Heartbeat can monitor it actually. So, and how it sends the data to your Elastic Cloud and how you can display to the Kibana. So this is the exercise. This is the part which we'll be doing in our next session. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Or else, shall we continue for the Heartbeat to install it and check it out? It's just like 10 minutes work or 15 minutes work. Or else we can even continue the next class also. Anything would be fine for me.
I have a question. In this scenario, why front-end server is required? We can easily accessing the web.
Correct, sir. Right, sir. Correct, right. Now what happened, right? Through the application server, what you're doing that you are directly accessing by giving this, right?
Right.
Right. But this is not the correct way. You need to access through the web server actually. Usually we cannot directly access the application directly going to the application server and do it actually, because this is not exposed to the outside world. Whereas a web front is exposed to the outside world.
Okay, I mean all the requests will be redirected through the web
Yes,
front-end
web
server,
server.
right?
Yes, yes. And all the HTML pages, everything will be stored here in this actually. Right. The login page and everything here. So when you try to access the application, the connection first comes to web server, and from the web server, the connection established to the application server, and later application will connect to your database. So these are the three-tier architecture.
Okay.
This is not the right way. What we're doing is not the right. This doesn't. It is not. This is not the correct way. What you said is right. We have to go through the web server.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yeah. So next class we will be seeing this how to install Nginx and all, configure and everything. Same documentation, sir. We will be referring to the same NOP. This one. This document only. I'll be referring it to install the Nginx server. Clear? And do all the changes and all. Whatever changes required, I'll do it actually. Like that. So, but now, did you understood like what we are supposed to do that, right? So you need to install this two server. At least you try to create two servers, install it, keep it ready. Okay. So now what I will do that actually, I will not terminate this instance, guys. What I will do, I'll just stop it actually. Okay. So let me click everything and I'll just say instance stop, so that let me use this servers for the next class. Actually, I don't want to do it again every time. Right? So when we get back to the next session, you would see that I will start the servers and then I will continue with the installing the all other further components. So guys, I hope today's class, like you understood everything. Please practice till today's thing, whatever I covered it. Okay. Any doubts you have further, any final doubts you have, please? Anything going on your mind? Okay. Harsh, Sanjay, Sharan, Karthik.
You have stopped 3 instances. Okay.
Yes.
Will that, I mean, will the billing applicable to this?
Since under free trial mode, since I'm free trial in under the free trial, right? So I will not be charged actually.
But actually resources are reserved for this, right? For now.
Correct. Since I'm using the T2 micro is under the free trial. So under the free trial, I will not be charged. You'll get a 750 hours, usage of the service per month, right?
Okay.
And then like that comes under. So it is billed, but still I am under the free trial, right? It will not be literally. I'll be getting a zero bill. Actually, I will not be
Okay.
getting.
Okay.
Apart from T2 micro, any other thing is there, right? Like T2 medium or T2 large, that will be billable. For that,
Okay.
you will get the payment.
Will that free hours calculated now
It's
after
already calculated.
stopping? After
It's
stopping also?
after stopping, it will not be calculated hours, but but what happened, right? With this servers, all your storage are attached. EBS storage are attached, right?
Is
For that
right.
EBS storage, it will be keep continuing the billing actually. But
Okay.
still, it is free actually.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, still it is free that you literally will not get any bill. That's what I'm saying. Zero, you'll get it.
Okay. Good. Thank you.
This is for 1 year. After 1 year, there is no free trial. So
Okay.
once you create a new account, you can start using it by maximum. You can try everything with the T2 micro only. because this is under the free trial eligibility.
Got it. Thank you.
But
So-
IP,
Sorry?
but IPC charge from Amazon.
No, I stopped it, right? So once you stopped it, the public IP what is assigned, right, that will get deallocated.
Hmm.
Once you stop it. If you start it again, a new IP, a public IP address should be assigned. So until and unless, see, all those comes under the free trial, you need not to worry. Whenever you create any server instance, right, it'll allocate the private IP, public IP, and that all comes under the that free usage only. So need not to worry about all those things as of now. Clear?
Sir,
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, good.
sir, can we secure our server without using domain?
No, domain we have to give, no, sir. How you will be able to give to the customer for accessing the application without domain? You cannot tell him, sir, please use this IP address, call and give the port number, and then be able to access. He will not be able to understand, right? If you give him, say that Amazon.in, he knows that
Okay.
how to, he will launch that application, right? But if you give him IP address, no, that he will be confused. He don't know how to use it actually. So always you need to give it with the domain name.
So means we can't like secure without domain.
Domain is required, sir. Domain is required, and for the security, you need to install the certificates. So
Okay.
certificates, you can either create your own certificates, or else you can buy from the external source.
Okay.
Yeah. You will see it later, all those things. Don't worry. So guys, I hope that you understood today's session. So thank you all. So please practice till here, and then we will continue in the next session. Is it clear? So let me stop this recording.